That's how you make your name. That's how you become legendary. That's how you become iconic, because you know they know what you represent, and they're going to do what they can to stop it. And guess what? You still go out there and bust it.
So Shannon Sharpe just delivered one of his most powerful takes on what separates legends from pretenders, and it cuts straight to the heart of why so many talented people crumble when it matters most. We're breaking down his brutal assessment of Jalen Duren's playoff collapse and what it reveals about modern athletes avoiding real accountability.
Joe, if he continues to play like this, they're going home. If Jalen Duren does not pick up that play, they're going home. You can't have a situation, Joe, your two best players. One of your players is playing like he's supposed to play. Cade Cunningham has elevated his game. 39 in the first game, 27. Jalen Duren has not. There's a pretend, Joe, he's going to be an all-NBA player.
This is exactly what's missing in today's culture. Honest, direct feedback when someone's not meeting their potential. Duren made the All-Star team, but that just makes his playoff disappearance more damaging. Success creates responsibility, and he's failing that test when Detroit needs him most.
The playoffs is about elevating. It's not about decreasing. I don't give a damn what you do.
The playoffs expose everything. Regular season stats become meaningless when the pressure doubles and every possession matters. This mindset applies beyond sports. When your career is on the line, when your relationship is tested, when stakes are highest, that's when character shows.
Guess what? I want you to be that same hardworking guy in the postseason that you were in the regular season. Because guess what? You know what's coming his way, don't you, Joe? You know that max contract coming, right?
That max contract creates a fascinating pressure point. Duren's about to get generational wealth based on regular season performance, but he's shrinking precisely when he needs to prove he deserves it. Stay authentic to what got you there. Don't try to become someone else under pressure.
Because you know Detroit, ever since the Bad Boys, what are they known for? You ain't finna out-scrap us, and if we gotta squabble, we gonna squabble. But you're not finna outwork us. You're not gonna be out tough us. It started with Isaiah, and then when they started bringing in Lambeer, and they got...
Organizational DNA is real. The Bad Boys Pistons created a culture that lasted decades. Physical, relentless, never backing down. That identity attracts certain players and repels others. Strong cultures survive personnel changes because the expectations remain constant, demanding everyone adapt to the standard.
It's kind of like if you play for the Steelers, you play for the Ravens, you already know. You got it's a mindset.
Yes, sir.
Man, you don't walk in there to the nah. Ain't no finesse football.
Nah. Yeah, no.
Detroit Pistons, they can't play finesse. You got to be physical.
This applies everywhere. You don't walk into Goldman Sachs expecting casual Fridays. You don't join the military expecting participation trophies. Successful organizations have non-negotiable identities. Smart people recognize those cultures and either embrace them completely or find somewhere else that fits better.
Y'all dump trucks, y'all Mack trucks, y'all pickup trucks.
Gritty and grimy. Yeah, that's how they got to play.
There's profound value in being the reliable workhorse rather than the flashy star. Dump trucks move the world. They're essential, dependable, and respected. Social media celebrates highlights, but championships are built on players who embrace unglamorous roles and execute them perfectly every single night.
Guys don't want to be challenged because when you're great at a young age, you kind of get coddled because you're great. And and coaches don't want you to take your ball and go home.
The coddling epidemic is destroying competitive excellence. When talent gets protected from criticism early, they never develop mental toughness. Real coaches challenge their best players harder than anyone else because they know greatness requires constant pressure to maintain its edge.
Guess what? You challenge a guy now, he just goes somewhere else.
He gone in the portal.
I'm gone. You ain't finna yell at me. You ain't finna coach me hard.
Hey.
The transfer portal mentality has infected everything. Jobs, relationships, commitments. The moment things get difficult, people bail instead of growing through adversity. This creates a generation that's incredibly skilled at avoiding challenges, but terrible at overcoming them when escape isn't possible.
I'm gonna treat y'all, Bill Davis used to tell us all the time, I'm gonna treat y'all all fair, but I ain't gonna treat you the same now. Some guys you can ride like Joe said. Some guys, you got to pat them on the back, even when they're, hey.
Yeah.
Effective leadership means treating people fairly, but never identically. Some personalities need encouragement. Others respond to direct challenge. Some require humor to stay loose. One-size-fits-all management fails because human psychology isn't uniform. Adapt your approach while maintaining consistent standards.
You just have to know what buttons to push to get what doors to open.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing for a coach, is to understand your players.
Understanding individual psychology is what separates good leaders from great ones. You can't motivate someone if you don't understand what drives them. Some need public recognition. Others prefer private feedback. Master this skill and you'll get maximum performance from every personality type.
As long as production of your show is tolerance.
Yeah.
Tolerance will never be higher than production.
Production-based tolerance is how the real world operates. High performers earn privileges that average workers don't get because they deliver results that others can't. Understanding this dynamic motivates excellence. Become indispensable and watch how differently you're treated.
I don't care. We talk about in professional sports, in job, regular job.
Yeah.
Look at the guy that's producing. Hey, his quota or his or her quota is through the roof. They come late. They're eating at the desk. They might not have the right attire on.
Results trump rules in competitive environments. The star salesperson gets away with flexible hours because they're hitting numbers nobody else can reach. Companies care about outcomes, not perfect rule following. Make yourself too valuable to lose and watch your leverage skyrocket.
The first time you get written up, hey, you got to go. First time they call your ass down to HR, you up out of there.
Being valuable creates job security that following rules never will. Mediocre performers get fired for minor infractions because they're replaceable. Exceptional performers get second chances because losing them hurts more than tolerating their quirks. Focus on becoming irreplaceable, not just compliant.
But hey, you got to be careful how you talk to people because everybody don't respond to the same stimuli. So that yelling and screaming, that's a trigger for somebody, and they tear your ass up.
Emotional intelligence in leadership means knowing when to push and when to pull back, but never lowering standards. Some people shut down when yelled at. Others need that intensity to respond. Master reading people while maintaining high expectations. That's advanced leadership.
There's the difference between playoff basketball and regular season basketball, and we see that a lot. There's a difference, and there's a difference between regular season and postseason in anything, be it football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever team sport is. If you have a postseason, there's a difference, the intensity level.
Playoff mentality applies to every high-stakes situation in life. Job interviews, relationship conflicts, financial pressures. When everything matters more, you either rise to meet the moment or crumble under it. Use pressure as fuel rather than letting it become an excuse.
Now, all of a sudden, when it matters the most, when we need to get stops, when we need to be efficient in clutch situations, we don't get that done. So anybody that says they don't, you absolutely know what it is. And Detroit knows. They basically had the best record in the Eastern Conference, damn near from start to finish.
Success creates expectations, and that's exactly how it should work. When you prove you're capable of excellence, people rightfully expect you to deliver it consistently. Detroit showed they could dominate all season. Their playoff struggles aren't bad luck, they're accountability failures.
Detroit Pistons even the series up with the Orlando Magic 98-83 in Game 2. The Pistons had lost 11 straight home games in the postseason, the drought that started back in 2008.
Breaking an 11-game home playoff losing streak that started in 2008 requires mental breakthrough, not just talent. Long droughts create psychological barriers that become self-fulfilling prophecies. Success often comes from simply deciding the pattern ends today and backing that decision with action.
At one point, they had outscored Orlando 30-3 in the third quarter. Joe, how was the Pistons able to turn this thing around, even the series up?
A 30-3 run doesn't happen by accident. It comes from decisive mental shifts and collective commitment. When teams or individuals finally decide to take complete control instead of hoping things work out, dominant performances follow. That's the difference between trying and deciding.